Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris, man, and as always, I thank you guys for coming to my channel. Today I'm going to do another short video. I got a question from one of my subscribers, Anthony. How you doing, Anthony? And I thought that I would respond to the masses because it's a pretty good question. And Anthony's question is, could you put something together to help with your ear training? And before I answer that question, I'm going to say this. In an interview with the guitar player from the Police, Andy Summers, George Harrison from the Beatles, and actually a few other ones, and videos or interviews, I've actually heard them say this, and it's actually true. How did they learn? And basically, they learned the old-fashioned way, and I can attest to that. Old school Larry, old school funk Larry, I'm sure you can attest to this. There is no, I guess, no other way to learn to develop your ear than to gather up your favorite records, go into a quiet room, plan to be there for 2-3 hours a day, and put your records on, your CDs on, and pull out your guitar and just play. The more you play, the more your ear develops. I don't believe that there's a class that you can take that will teach you or train your ear. There are classes that claim to do that, but don't waste your money. Do it the old-fashioned way, and it does work. You just got to put the time in. And it's kind of like exercising to lose weight. Most of us don't enjoy doing that, but after a while, we enjoy the results because we see them and we get more motivated to do it. It's the same thing with guitar. You're not going to sit down in one sitting and learn to be a guitar player. It's going to take months, years, My ear started to develop when I was about 19. By the time I was 22, it was pretty good. And it's continually getting better because of the technology, because I mentioned earlier before a software called Mixcraft, which is kind of like a Reasons, Cubase, Logic, somewhere along those lines. My ear got even better when I started working with that program because I can hear everything. And when you can hear everything, you can kind of decipher it. Because I really don't believe in you buying software to isolate certain parts. Let your ear go to work. Don't give it a safety net. Let it do its thing, because trust me, it will start to go to work when you put it to work, as opposed to, again, trying to get riff station, which is some garbage. It doesn't work, and trying to figure it out by isolating your guitar parts or other parts. Once you just keep playing and keep playing, your ear starts to decipher those on its own, because I've been doing short films like the last 2 years, and I love it. Actually, acting was my first love before guitar, before music kicked in, and I still have that acting bug and creative, it within me. And now with the new technology, with these digital cameras and the editing program, you can put together actually your own little movies. But I look at movies when I watch them, differently now. When I watch a movie, I'm looking at, man, they're using the green template. How many edits that they use for this scene? And most people that watch movies don't decipher and break them down like that. And that's the same thing with music. When I listen to music, I hear the parts. I hear the guitar parts, I hear the drums, I hear the piano, I hear the structure. So the answer to that question, Anthony, is, just sit down with your guitar, commit, a couple hours a day, and just play. Because after a while, your ear starts to hear that you're not on point, and then it will correct you and put you on point. Because people always ask me, where do you get all that sheet music? And the majority of the stuff that I do on my videos, which is like 2,000 something now videos, I would say maybe almost half of the stuff I got on sheet music. Other half I just do by ear, And again, after a while, you start to hear the major sevens, because you start to see a pattern as well. Because I would say almost 100% of the ballads, especially R&B songs, got major 7 chords in them, all of them, and they're very distinctive. And what we do as a band, usually at the end of our set, we end it with a ballad. And we always ended on a major 7 chord, because we used to see the guys when we were teenagers doing the same thing. So those are like little tricks you start to hear, and you start to incorporate into your own thing. But, after a while, you hear the major 7 chords. You definitely hear the suspended 4th chords, because that's the first chord that I start to be able to distinguish. Well, actually, it was the major 7. Second was the suspended 4th. And 90% of the time when you hit a suspended 4th, it dissolves into the major. So if the suspended 4th is an A suspended 4th, for example, it's going to resolve into an A major chord most of the time. I want to say it's the Bee Gees, how deep it, no, I forgot which one it is, but in one of their songs, they leave the suspended hanging, which is kind of clever. Because as I'm playing, I'm like, okay, I hear the suspended fourth. I'm about to, top it off with the major. They didn't do it, So every now and then, just for creative reasons, they kind of go in other direction. But the majority of the suspended fourth chords dissolve into the A chord, and you start to pick up these little things as you keep playing, and it becomes kind of like a format. And once you start to realize the format, it's easy to do what you need to do because, again, I could tab songs in less than 10, 15 minutes. But the overall process takes like 2 hours because I have to tab it, which doesn't take a long time. Then I have to record it, and then I got to do a rendering in Sony Vegas, and that's the longest part of the equation because it could take anywhere from an hour to 2 hours to render a video because it's in high definition. So it's recording every pixel. So, a lot of work goes into what I do, because there's some other people that are not, I guess, technically advanced as far as what I do. They just hit their record button and they play and they leave it. They don't, edit things out or put things in, but, I've always wanted to just kind of, make it even more interesting. So that's why I go to that extent as far as putting the chords in the videos. Because it first started with me just writing the chords out in the subject line. Then when I got to Sony Vegas, I said, you know what, I can actually put the graphics in there and put the chords in there as I'm playing them, which makes it even easier for people to pick up on it and play along. Because, I'm a big advocate of making it simple and making it logical, because there's some things to me that don't make sense. And here's one of them that has nothing to do with music. And I would have loved to have been in the boardroom when the person that sold this idea to the people that did it, because it's ridiculous. You got a truck, an SUV. And the spare tire back in the day when you had a station wagon was inside the car in the back in this little compartment, which was a good idea because it kept it away from the elements. But now you have these spare tires up under the car, and it's hard to get, it's more difficult to get the tire out than to fix the flat. And then, you got your tire out there in the elements all year long, and the boat's now super rusty. You can't even get the tire from up under the car, especially if you live in areas where it snows, throughout the year or in the wintertime. So, that's kind of a bonehead decision or idea, but somebody sold it. And it's just interesting because the tire should be kept inside the car, to protect it from the elements as far as the rubber on the tires and then the metal and the screws in the bolts. You don't want to expose or leave bolts out in the winter, in the rain, and the sleet and the snow. But, those things don't make any sense, but it was a corporate decision. Maybe it was cheaper to do that. I believe it was, than to build a compartment inside the car. But, unfortunately, when it comes to business, it's about money first, then logic, then being practical. But, I've always had this, thing with myself that I want to make things easy for people, make them logical. When I sell guitars, when I get tired of them and want to buy another one, I sell it for a decent price, like Dave on eBay, and I did a review on Dave's guitars, and Dave put together some really good guitars for very economical prices. So that's my approach to music. I want to make it simple and difficult. Simple and not difficult for you. But I'm about to sign off. But again, I still have DVDs for sale, 4 DVD sets. I'll walk you through 4 hours of teaching you stuff that you need to know to become a good rhythm guitar player. I cut through the chase. I don't give you stuff that you don't need or can't use, because we all know that spiel that when we go to music teachers, they say you can't learn this stuff that you come in and you want to play until we teach you this stuff. That's absolutely false. From day one, I can take you to music land as far as trying to learn the songs you want to learn to play. But it's going to take time and dedication. This is not a magic bullet. You're not going to be a good guitar player in 2 months. Probably you're going to start to kind of break the surface in 6 months if you do it right. But trust me, if you stick with it, you'll be a good guitar player for life, because you don't forget those things. You might get rusty, but you don't forget those types of things as far as learning and becoming a good guitar player. So if anybody's interested in the DVDs, they're still half price, $22 for $20 for shipping, $20 for the DVDs, $2 for shipping. Inbox me or leave me a comment if you want to learn how to, purchase these. And once payment is received, you get these DVDs sent out the very next day. So until next time, take care.